Hello, my name is Kevin Harris. I'm about to give you guys a little insight into what I've been working on all semester in this class, my restaurants. So, hope you enjoy, and here goes nothing. So my restaurant's called Augusta Mays Bar and Grill. The name may not make a whole lot of sense right now, but it will in a second, I promise. I know you guys know this because everybody's done some research into Columbia and all that stuff, but I just thought I'd throw this in there because it really does have some relevance to why I chose the kind of restaurant that I chose, and I chose the name. So Columbia is the state capital, largest city in South Carolina. A population of about 131,000, according to Wikipedia. It was founded in 1786, and as we all know, it is the home of the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. And that last part right there is the key part of my entire project, which I'm sure is the key part to many of your projects. But you'll see how I had that tie-in here in a moment. The University of South Carolina was founded in 1801 as South Carolina College. It's got an active enrollment of about 47,000 students, 33,000 of which live on the main Columbia campus. So it's a pretty big college. And I don't know if this is a problem in Columbia. It's a problem where I'm from. I'm from a small town called Martin, Tennessee, and that's really this is really why I had the idea for the theme and the name and all that at this restaurant. In Martin, it's a small town. It's about 16,000 people. It's got a small college there called the University of Tennessee at Martin. That's where I did my undergrad at. And it has a population of about 8,000, I guess, the college does. So in the summer, when people go home, the population shrinks in half. So the local economy kind of hurts there for a few months because, half your population is gone. I know restaurants in particular lose a lot of business in the summers, especially those that are closer to campus and, are full college kids. I know this probably isn't as big of a problem in South Carolina because it has 131,000 people in it, pretty big city. In comparison to Martin, at least. It's actually relatively small in comparison to, Nashville or Memphis. Or, a bigger city here in the South. But regardless, you're looking at roughly 40,000 people in the summer that aren't there. So you would have to think that restaurants, especially those that are catered towards college students and are near the campus, like I intend for my restaurant to be, you have to think that they kind of hurt in the summers. And if they're not hurting, they're probably not doing as well as they do during the school year. So that was a key part to my restaurant. I wanted a restaurant that sort of didn't solve that problem or that issue, but it took advantage of it, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, maybe it'll make sense here in a minute. So, anytime you're thinking of a name, of course you want something catchy. But I didn't just want to have a name that was catchy and completely irrelevant to the kind of restaurant that I was creating or just the overall theme of the restaurant, So, like I said, school is typically in session from August to May. I talked about how the population shrinks in Columbia probably by around 40,000 in the summer. If not 40,000, 30,000, it's going to shrink regardless. And if you're going to create a restaurant that is supposed to be for college students, you have to think that the restaurant just simply doesn't do as well in the summer. So I have wanted to create a restaurant that's only open from August to May. So instead of saying, hey, this restaurant is called August to May, I wanted to give it a name. So I combined August to May to make a name that someone could actually have, and I called it Augusta Mays. It's just something I thought was kind of cool that can put both of the months into a name that an actual person could have. Augusta May. Of course, I make it possessive, and so we're going to Augusta Mays. Um, so that kind of tied into the problem of kind of tied into the problem of college kids leaving town in the summer, and that's why I chose that name. And you may ask, why would you shut down business in the summers if you're not losing money? Well, even if they're not losing money in the summer, something that is open 9 months out of the year kind of brings some mystique to the restaurant, some intrigue. You have to think that the fact that it's going to be closed down for 3 months out of the year might build up anticipation. If it's a good enough place, which I would hope it would be, kind of builds up anticipation among the population there in Columbia for it to open back up. So business will hopefully just be booming at times when it is open. So that was the logic behind that. So now you're probably asking, what's the logic behind the whole barn thing? That's what I'm going to address next. We actually selected a barn theme by accident. We knew we liked Augusta Mays. That was one of the names that kind of really stuck out in the brainstorming process. But we originally wanted just to do a sports bar. We're in a college town. Columbia is a big SEC school. University of South Carolina is a big SEC school. So we wanted to tie it into sports. But I mean, we still wanted it to be unique. Everywhere there's a sports bar. We thought, we can make it a sports bar, but we wanted some other theme that isn't quite so common to be present as well. So then one of my brainstorming team members just, we're thinking about names, and we're adding bar and grill to everything, which is very cliche, I know. But he thought, why don't we do barn grill? So we're going to spell it like barn grill, 2 words, but we're going to put the N in parentheses and kind of do a little, play on words there, but barn grill, but it's really bar and grill. It'll still be probably pronounced barn grill. I don't know, maybe the general public will just start calling it barn grill. I don't know. Either way, it's a bar and grill, and we just wanted to kind of, again, add a little catchy element to it. So that's why we chose barn. That's why we chose a barn as being the theme of the restaurant, because it ties in with the name. And how many times do you go eat in a barn? It's gonna look. I mean, my vision of it is, and I've designed some layouts that I'll attach to the discussion board in Dropbox of how I envision it to look. I couldn't figure out a way to get those onto the PowerPoint because I'm not very good with computers, but I will post those. But I envision it looking like an old rundown barn on the outside, but you go inside and it'll look really nice. It could have wooden walls, but it's not going to have holes in the walls or anything. It could just be something that looks kind of crappy, but it's really going to be kind of cool. I mean, that's how I envision it anyways. Obviously, I'm not going to go build a restaurant, but that's how I would envision it. And like I said, that's something again that I think would be something that the college age group would really embrace. I know I think it'd be really cool. So that's sort of the thinking behind the theme right there. So I'm not much of a cook at all, but I did get some recipes from my mom, who is an amazing cook. Some of these some of these recipes are rather unique. Others aren't so much. Like I said, not much of a cook, so I wanted the bulk of the creative process to go into the theme, and the overall, the name, the theme, just the overall feel of the restaurant, as opposed to having just wacko menu items. Because to be honest with you, I don't think I could dream of wacko food items just because I'm not a cook. But I was able to find a few unique menu items thanks to my mom. provide me with some recipes, and there's some stuff she's cooked, her whole life that I personally haven't seen in restaurants. So, maybe this would be cool. If this restaurant were created, this could be something that was unique to the restaurant. I also wanted to tie in. Now, I didn't do this with every menu item, but for several of them, I wanted to tie in something to the university, in as far as what the menu items were called. So as you'll see right here, and I'm only gonna talk about 3 menu items, some entrees here. Like I said, I'll attach the full menu on the discussion board and Dropbox for you guys to look at, but I'm only gonna talk about 3 right here. This first one I kind of would envision as like, Alice Springs chicken of my Augusta Mays. You hear Alice Springs chicken, you think Outback Steakhouse. At least I do. I envision this as being that signature item that would be something that people would just, rave over. I call it the Gamecock. You can see right there, it's actually boneless chicken thighs that you you cut in half, and you put cream cheese in there. You wrap them in bacon, throw them on the grill, and oh yeah, you put I don't cook this a lot. You put a fourth of an onion finely chopped in there with the cream cheese. Throw it on the grill, brush it with some barbecue sauce, put some seasoning all on there, and I'll tell you from eating it myself, it's one of the most heavenly things you will ever put in your mouth. So yeah, that's sort of what I envision being like the signature menu item at the restaurant. But I got a couple others. I've never seen crescent chicken in a restaurant, and it's one of my favorite dishes of my mom's. It seems like you see some homemade things in restaurants, some things that your grandma cooked when you were growing up in restaurants. But you guys may have, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I've just never seen crescent chicken in a restaurant, and so I thought it'd be cool to include that. And I call it Columbia Crescent Chicken. Again, I think it's important to tie in the city as much as you can to the menu items, just something so that customers and residents of South Carolina and students at the University of South Carolina can make that connection to the food they're eating. So that's sort of my logic behind that. This is an item, and I only included this on the slideshow because I was really proud of myself for coming up with this name. You guys may think it's stupid, but I think it's very clever. I think it's cool. I don't know. It's just spaghetti. I mean, I got my mom's spaghetti recipe right there. She's like I said, she's a great cook, and I got her recipe, and I've eaten her spaghetti all my life, and it's delicious. But I mean, I think if you're going to serve spaghetti at a restaurant, I mean, you might as well, a restaurant like this too, it's just spaghetti. They can cook that in their dorm room. So at least give it a really cool name. So I came up with Steve Spurrier's Spankin' South Carolina Spaghetti. I just think that's a really cool name. I don't know why, but Steve Spurrier, if you guys don't know, is the head football coach at the University of South Carolina. He's a great coach. Pains me to say that because I am a Tennessee fan, and my distaste for Steve Spurrier goes back all the way to his days at Florida. But I'm sure he is a living legend in Columbia. He's an amazing coach. He's turned that football program around. He'll surefire Hall of Famer when he's done. So this is something that even when Steve Spurrier isn't coaching there anymore, and let's say this restaurant did exist, everybody's going to know who Steve Spurrier is. Everybody's going to make that connection to the university, and it's a menu item that could be there forever, or as long as the restaurant's around. Steve Spurrier doesn't have to be the coach for it to be there. And I did a similar thing with real quickly. I did you guys, I'm sure all of you know, at least those of you who live in Memphis, know where Cookie Canucks is. It's a restaurant here downtown where I live, that they have this really big burger. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's a huge burger, and If you eat it, it's like 7.5 pounds of food, 4 pounds of meat, 2 pounds of bun. If you eat it, you get the meal for free and you get your name on the wall and your picture. I think only like 6 or 7 people have been able to do it. It's that big of a burger. So I offered something similar to that. I took their recipe because I don't know how to cook a 7-pound burger off the top of my head. So I took this recipe, and this is in the menu. You'll see. I made this menu item called the Jadavian, and that's named after Jadavian Clowney, who is the current player on South Carolina's team, arguably the best player in the country, one of the best defensive college football players in history. He'll be the first pick in the NFL draft next year. He's going to be somebody who is going to be legendary in Columbia for years to come. As I mentioned, I'm a Tennessee fan, so it's kind of how Peyton Manning is in Knoxville. They have roads named after him. I'm sure they have food items named after Peyton in Knoxville. It doesn't matter if Peyton Manning, if he dies tomorrow, 100 years later, they're still going to be talking about Peyton Manning in Knoxville. And that's sort of the same thing with Jadavian Clowney. He's sort of South Carolina's Peyton Manning, and he's going to be talked about for years to come. So there again, you make that connection to the campus. That's something that that people remember when they hear that name and so forth. And real quickly, my gimmick in the menu is if you eat the Jadavian, you get it for free, and you get a picture on the wall like the Cookie Canucks, but you also get a signed Jadavian Clowney jersey, which I don't even know if that would be feasible, but I thought it'd be something cool to go in there. So yeah, you guys can look at the rest of my menu items on the discussion board. I'll post them there, and I'll post them for you in Dropbox after both. Okay, so real quick, here are just some really terrible animations of what I think my restaurant would look like. Couldn't figure out any barn templates, but just imagine the outside looking like a barn, the inside looking like, like a sports bar. That's just sort of how I picture it. I think it'd be cool. There's a patio in the back, where people could sit outside, and when it's nice weather, or, if you have people smoking or whatever, they could go out there. Pretty typical setup there. I'll have a animation of the inside I'll get to here in a second. It actually might be next. And here is the inside. Like I said, it's a terrible animation, but I think it'd be really cool if there was a TV in every booth. I know that might be kind of expensive, but I think it'd be really cool too. Like I said, it's a sports bar, so I would envision there'd be sports there. So yeah, that's just sort of a glimpse. Oh yeah, and then right here, over to the right, I pictured on the left set of doors being when you come in and you walk down the stairs. I pictured the right set of doors going up to the second floor, which looks like this. This is just kind of how I envision the second floor. I could see there being like tables during regular restaurant hours, like out on the dance floor. But at night, I think it'd be cool, if you just push it back and there's a bar there at the bottom of the screen, and then up at the top, they had live bands and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. But that's obviously something that's a little bit more difficult to demonstrate through a PowerPoint, but that's just sort of my general thinking on it. So that is my project. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I tried to be as creative and unique as I could be. I'm sure, you guys have some really great ideas too. I'm excited to see what everybody came up with. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about Augusta Mays, and good luck on your finals. Thanks.